Hello everybody, my name is Beck. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be going through my June potentials TBR list, hopefuls. I'm kind of lying to myself because there's a lot of books that I would like to read by the end of June, but realistically I'm probably not going to go through every single one of them, and I'm going to mainly read possibly half of it. And just to give you guys a sneak peek, here are some of the physical stuff that I would like to finish this month, and I will go through my digital once I'm done with it. Most of them are arcs because I've been holding on to them for such a long time that they have been traditionally published, and I feel kind of bad about it. There are some that won't come out until like later in July, so there is time for me to read them and review them. So without further ado, there might be some repeats if you are a returning subscriber, because I tend to be a mood reader and I just go off a tangent, and that is just the way I am. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I've mentioned this like multiple times, especially for the past 6 months, that I have been really into paranormal romance, and I read a lot of like alien romance. If that is not your thing, I understand, because it was kind of jarring for me. My very first one was Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon, and I went down a rabbit hole with that one and I can't go back. So I used to read a lot of contemporaries, and in fact I buy a lot of contemporaries, but I am now forcing myself to go through the list because I would like to finish some of my physical TBRs this year before I buy any more. I have some pre-orders coming in, but let's just ignore that. So the very first book that I'd like to start and finish this month is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. The second book is coming out soon. This is a TikTok sensation. It's been around and it used to be a fan fiction turned traditionally published, so I don't know what the fan fiction was based about. I've had this book for a while now. I've heard about it. I actually do have it on KU before it got taken out in Australia. It is a romance between a figure skater and a hockey captain. I heard this book is mainly spice and vibes. So if you're into those kind of things, then this is it. I think I'm just gonna have to join a Scribd monthly subscription for 1 month, because this book is part of the monthly subscription. I've seen it a couple times because I don't think I'm gonna physically sit here and read the book. So there's this one. Yes, it's a repeat. I understand that. I've been really lazy, and since it's like really cold here in Sydney, Australia, perfect time to read like a figure skating romance. Second book is Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. This is a repeat offender. I am up to page 11 with progress. In the last video I said I only read 3 pages, so we have progress. I've tried reading this book for the past month every single morning when I go to work. My daily commute is between 40 to 50 minutes, give or take. I have ample of time to read this on the train to and from work. From work is kind of hard because it's like really packed in the morning. It's like peaceful and quiet, and I do normally get a seat. What is my excuse? I'm just like not a morning person, so every single time I crack this open, I'm like, I just don't want to read it. So what is this story about? It's between the relationships between Ruthie and Teddy, and they both work in a retirement home. I've only met the heroine of the story, who is called Ruthie. I haven't met Teddy yet, who is the main love interest. He hasn't even been introduced because I'm on page 11. I really want to finish this, but I think I'm going to end up like buying or borrowing the audiobook because I don't know why. I don't know why this is taking so long. I had a book like this from last year that I want to finish. Same scenario, but I will continue to bring this with me to work. It's extra weight that I'm carrying. I should just finish it at this point. This is a very exciting read. I heard really good things. Happy Place by Emily Henry, that this book is incredibly sad. I also have Book Lovers, which I want to read. I have read Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation, or Me and You on Vacation is the UK version. Anticipated this book for a very long time, pre-ordered it the moment it got announced. I bought an audiobook credit for this one. What is my excuse? The text isn't that small. It's quite large, actually. I should read it. Maybe because I'm in winter vibes right now and I don't really particularly want to read it right now. I am excited. I want to read it. Something about me is truly reluctant to read it, maybe because I want to read something happy. I know it's going to have a happy ending, but I just want to be happy throughout my process. 2 X's, so second chance romance. Anyway, So I picked this up. I forgot that this was gonna come out. So I have Charlie, Love and Cliches by Ella Mays. I have read Marriage for One by this author. I also have other two books. I've been meaning to read those for a very long time. I have access to audiobook format, so it should be really easy, but for some reason I'm really reluctant about it. Marriage for One, the only book that is not available to me unless I swipe my card, is the one book that I have actually read. I don't know why. I'm so reluctant to read her other books when I really want to. But these two are available on Scribd, so Charlie, Love and Cliches and Heartbreaker, they're both on Scribd, so I'm thinking of just resubbing for the sake of these two. I've seen the ratings for this one, it's not that great, and on the day that it got released, I completely forgot about it, so I bought it the next day. And there was still like pretty decent choices, so I picked one. I'm just really surprised that this got stocked at my local bookstore, well, my local work bookstore. I'm very lucky. I work in an area with like so many bookstores and one of the largest chains in Australia, easily accessible, and I'm just happy they stocked it at Big W, so I didn't have to like personally buy online. Seeing mixed reviews about it, I haven't read too much about it, don't really know a lot. The cover is just really pretty, and there's a lot of pink books that I would love to display with on my pink shelf. That's another potential. I don't know too much about it. I like to go into books blindly unless I have to check the trigger warnings, which I would recommend people doing for the series that I'm attempting to start. So I finally have the full set. I don't think she's going to release anymore, and this series is the Lancaster series by Monica Murphy, and I think I'm finally gonna start it. I've heard really mixed things about it, and so this series is based in high school, and I'm not exactly excited about that part. I actually prefer the old covers. For A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, this one is the old cover. I think this is the only book that retained its indie cover, which I kind of do like, but the other three things I wanted to say I do like. I think this is the first book, Promises We Meant to Keep. I prefer the older cover, and this one is the latest release, which is I'll Always Be With You, and that's book number 4. So first book, second book, third book, and finally fourth book. So I think I have the entire series. They were originally on Kindle Unlimited. Once they got traditionally published here, the KU version got taken out, so I have the new covers. And yeah, the second book is the only one that doesn't have the new covers. It remained the same. And I also have like an extended epilogue for one of the books, and I do have access to audiobooks because my local library has like the first 2 books in audiobook format, which I can borrow. So once again, I don't really have any excuse, but the fact that it is based in high school, that I really don't want to read about high school students' lives. I don't really like to read about anything to do with high school and even college or university to begin with. Since I got the books, I bought it, I might as well read it. I've also heard some really questionable things about this series, especially the second book, A Million Kisses in a Lifetime. I've been trying to read it for a while now. I've got it since last year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I bought the book a while ago. I've always said, you know what, I'll just wait until the entire series comes out in Australia. I'll buy all the physicals and then I'll start then. So now I have all the physicals, including the newest one that just came out like last week. I gotta start. I need to start. Here are all the physical potentials, and now we can go on to the arcs. Will I read them? Stay tuned to find out. So here are the ARCs from NetGalley. The only ARC website, ARC is like advanced readers copies, which you can apply for online, and you can personally contact the authors, which I don't normally do. I prefer going on like a website like NetGalley that is already been established. I think it's like one of the most popular. Don't take my word on it. I'm just assuming it's the most popular ARC website. ARC is advanced readers copy. You can request it, and sometimes publishers might grant you access. They usually will give you an ebook or e-audio book, give it to you a bit earlier so you can like provide a review in exchange for that. And I do have a couple. I requested some, which is bad because I was on a ARC reading journey. Since I cleared some ARCs and my percentage went back up again, I was like, you know what, let's drag it back to 80%, and I requested more books. So the books I still have to read is In the Shadows of Hoax by Macy Aurora. I think it is the second book of the series, so I need to read the first book. I don't really know much about it, but there is some sci-fi elements into it, so that's why I requested it. Of Love and Forged by Carly Spade. I think once again it was like sci-fi elements, and that's why I requested it. Every Which Way by Shannon Bright. I was going to read it yesterday, but for some reason I was just not in the mood halfway through it, so I had to stop, but I'll eventually get back to it. Not Yet Exes Hexes. I read the first book of the series by April Asher. I'm so happy to say it, and now I can start the e-audio book even though the book is out for a while now. But it took me a while to get to the first book, which I own the physical copy, and reading a physical book is just like mentally taxing for me. It was fun, it was sweet, but it wasn't one of the best romance I've ever read, so I gave it a 3 star for the first book. But I heard the second book is a lot better. Not Yet Exes Hexes is based on like a romance between a witch and the younger sister of the heroine from the first book, which I'm really excited about. I also have The Right Wrong Match by Sarah Jane Woodley, which is another e-audio arc, which I'm looking forward to, and it's also the second book of the series, so I need to read the first one before I can start that one. I also have Accidental Attachment by Max Moreau. I have the audiobook and the ebook arc versions, so I'll be reviewing both, one for performance for the audiobook and one for the actual story for the other one. I think that is fair if you have the same book in both formats. I decided to request both because I assumed that I was gonna get rejected from one of them, but I got accepted in both of them, so I suppose I get to read the story twice or at the same time. I also have Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. I read the first book, I did not like it. I'm hoping the second book might be better, but I don't have a really good relationship with Tessa Bailey books. I have hated pretty much all of them so far. I haven't read Hook, Line and Sinker yet, or It Happened One Summer yet, and I heard those are really good. I do own the copies, and I'm hoping I will have a better experience with those two, but everything else I have read, like My Killer Vacation, The Tools of Engagement, is it? I've read some of her most popular books, and I just didn't like them. I'm hoping this one's better. It feels like it might be better, so here's to hoping. I also have The Modern Girl's Guide to Magic by Lindsay Hall. It just looked really cute, and I really enjoy paranormal romance, and I'm just hoping for a good paranormal kick romance will continue. So that is basically all the books that I like to read in the month of June. Is it ambitious? Yes. Will I be able to read every single one of them? No, because I am a mood reader and I'm just gonna go off a tangent and seek other things to read. I'm probably gonna read a whole bunch of like alien romances. I don't know if anybody wants to see a wrap-up video of mine, and after this I'm going to fix up my TBR cart, and that will be a separate video in itself. Let me know what kind of books you've been reading, what kind of books you want to buy, pre-order. Anyway, I'm just really nosy. Any paranormal recs? And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. Hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!